If you ever thought about starting a side hustle, I'm going to give you 4 tips to get you started, but not everyone should. So I'm going to actually talk through what's involved, whether you should, whether you shouldn't, and get that ball rolling in your head, at least from a research perspective. Hi, my name is Opie. I talk about health, wealth, and happiness. This one's going to be about wealth. So let's get started. So if you've been working a day job and you're grinding away and you feel like, hey, I'm not really getting ahead, maybe it's worthwhile doing a side hustle. The reason why I say that is everyone thinks that, you working a 40-hour job should be enough. And you know what? Maybe it was 30 years ago. Maybe that was enough to get you ahead, have 2 cars on a single income, maybe even put your kids into private school. That could also be done in 1 income. Have the times changed? Unfortunately, it has. So we can complain about it. I know there's a bunch of videos online where that's people do. They just complain that things have changed. Cost of living has gone up. They can't afford to buy a house. Their rents have gone up. They've been evicted. So there's a whole lot of reasons that people give as to why the situation is bad today. And I'm not saying it's not, right? It obviously is. It is a lot worse now than it was 20, 30 years ago. Is it all relative? I don't know. But here is what I wanted to tell you. If you are working the 40-hour week and you feel like you're not getting ahead, it really is up to you on doing something extra. So what could you do? Before you even start a side hustle, there is one thing I need you to do, which is try and look at all the expenses. Go through all of your expenses, see where you can cut down. And if you're making ridiculous expenses, buying fancy toys, going on extravagant holidays where, you should really be saving, then that might be a better way to get ahead than starting a side hustle. But if this check is in balance, as in if this side of the table in terms of your expenditure is okay and you're running it lean as possible and you've got the motivation and drive, because that's important to start something on the side, then let's get talking. So here are the 4 things that I want you to consider, right? Number 1 is scalability. Is the venture that you're going to start scalable? So let me give you an example from my own life. When I was a DJ back then, did it for 20 years and I got quite good at it. So I was doing clubs all over the Melbourne, weddings, corporate events. It was quite good. But the problem was I was just one person and often I'd get double booked or sometimes even triple booked. And I did try and hire other DJs and sort of subcontract them out. But often I'd get a call back from the client going, mate, it was terrible. Or something happened, the mixer broke and they couldn't fix it. There was some sort of issue. So in terms of scalability, I was it. I was the business. I basically just got myself a job. But instead of me having a boss, I was the boss. So you really need to sort of think about, can your business be scalable? I'm not saying I couldn't have done it that way, but there were a few obstacles ahead of me, right? Another example, my mum was a florist for a long, long time. In terms of her scaling a business, that was a bit tricky. So, either she could buy another premises, but in terms of making flowers, she was it. And I'm not saying she couldn't do it, but it was very physical labor and there was only a certain amount of flowers that she could buy, for example, on Mother's Day or Valentine's Day. In terms of buying the supply, that was capped because when you go to the wholesaler would go, hey, this portion is for you, this portion is for you. You can't just go, hey, I want 3-4 times my normal order. It doesn't really work like that because flowers don't grow like that. So there was that constraint as well. So whatever you're thinking of starting, see if it's scalable. I mean, I know cake businesses and soy candle businesses are very popular, but think if that is a scalable business. So that's the point number 1. Point number 2 is, can you apply technology to streamline things a bit better? As in, can you take the manual labor out, basically? So technology has improved a lot, especially if you're sort of, say, you don't want to start a side hustle, but you're actually wanting to maybe buy into a business like a dry cleaner, laundromat, accounting thing. So you're actually buying into a franchise. Often these businesses are still running on old technology. Old meaning they might even be using fax machines. Quite common in this day and age to find fax machines in some of these established businesses. So you as a entrepreneur, someone who wants to get things going, you can easily go into them, increase the technology or uplift the technology that's there, and increase the revenue. So technology is a huge thing that you should consider. Whatever venture that you're going down, can you employ technology? Third one is labor arbitrage. So here in Australia, the labor costs are ridiculous. So for all the ventures that I'm doing, if I had to hire the labor in Australia, I couldn't do it. I couldn't afford to scale like what I have done with hiring the labor here. It just can't be done because, I'm not that much of a big person in terms of businesses to be paying for that labor locally. It can't be done. Therefore, thank goodness I can, find very talented people from all over the world at a reasonable price that I can afford to pay. So think if you can do sort of the labor arbitrage with your business. Obviously, if it's a service business, it can't be done. I mean, at the moment, I've been contemplating, I really wanted to start a courier business, the last mile delivery. So, it goes from packages might come to a massive warehouse here, and that last mile going from the warehouse to the individual residence is supposedly the most expensive part of the delivery. So I've been contemplating running the numbers on whether I should start this last mile delivery business. I mean, I can get the vans, but I'm going to get stuck with the people, okay? Because I can hire them as independent contractors, but even then it's I can't sort of outsource it, internationally or interstate wise. It has to be local labor. So that's what I'm sort of dealing with at the moment from a business model perspective. Therefore, most likely not going to happen. There's no leverage there at all. The last one is automation. Can you apply some sort of automation into your business to take you out of the picture a little bit more? So remove the human element. Again, this sort of ties in with the technology a little bit as well, but I'll give you a little example. A little example is that the other podcast that I'm doing, instead of me writing with each guest on, their name, their social media links, and all the B-roll footage that I need to get, what I've done is I've put a form together on the website. I basically text the form to the guest and they fill in the details. Once those details are filled in, those details get emailed directly through to my editor, the social media manager, and the B-roll footage gets put into a special folder as well. So very simple automation that I've set up in the back end that happens. I don't have to be messing around with all of this stuff. Does that make sense? So see where you can get started with some sort of side hustle. I mean, there's a whole lot of videos online that you can probably watch and get some ideas. But if I was to give some now, I would be trying to look at online type ventures. So there's SaaS businesses, there's affiliate marketing, there's drop shipping. So all of these work, but you have to do some research and see where you can learn from, ideally for a low price. If you're paying thousands of dollars to learn, that's good, but you want to make sure that you can try and get some of that money back, because it's okay paying a mentor up front, but just be really careful. There's programs out there that promise the world but don't deliver anything. So, I mean, my preference is always starting an online business, not necessarily an e-commerce business, but it could be. But doing something where the initial cost of capital that you're putting into this venture is quite low. So the risk is low. Even if it's a huge failure, what you've done is you've learned something and then you take those learnings to the next venture. Another benefit that you get from all of this and doing some sort of side hustle, even if you don't get a monetary value, monetary benefit, there's this other benefit that I like to call hope, that it's the inner drive that keeps you going day after day, so your day doesn't feel like all you're left with the 9 to 5 grind. When you come home, what have you got? You've got a streaming service that you can rely on. That's it. But if there's something else that you're working towards, that's your own baby, it's a different dynamics. I mean, if I can use myself as a little example here, I've just come back from the gym. It's Saturday night and it's 11:40 at night. And look at me, I'm recording a YouTube video. It doesn't mean I'm great or anything. I mean, what are other people doing on a Saturday night? Probably not this. I mean, don't get me wrong. There have been nights where I've gone out clubbing or dancing or whatever, but tonight's not one of them. So, and it often is not one of them. Like, it doesn't happen very often because I'm, an old man now. But if you can put time into your business, you do feel alive. There's this spark inside you where you're like, oh, wow, I'm actually doing something, even if it's not bringing any sort of monetary value. I mean, none of these videos are bringing anything at the moment. As you know, I'm doing this for my kids, something that they can watch and learn from if I pass away suddenly. I'll leave on that morbid note. I'll talk to you soon. Hope you got something out of it. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.